Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Finally, senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. Thumbs up for that. Well, this is Liminal Core, Chapter 5. Hokey smokes. Yes, I want to do other things besides just liminal things. And I know I've been on a big liminal kick for quite some time, but liminal stuff is still fun. Coming up with that, in these particular cases, creepy, eerie feelings based on, well, this is kind of one big, large thing you can point at and say, this is wrong. Whereas I really enjoy much more the 1001 small things that are wrong that all add up to that overwhelming feeling of this is wrong. Because for me, that's what liminal is. A very narrow, defined feeling instead of that feeling of anemoia, a feeling of nostalgia for a time or a place that you've never experienced. Oh, that was not a nice sound. Anyway, I have a fair amount of things written down, most of them very, very small, but I wanted to go through them. First was, I went for an early walkies today, which I've been trying to do, but it was sunny for a break period. It's raining out there pretty hard right now, and we're supposed to have interchanging? You know, sunny, rain. But while I was out on my walk, I was remembering, for whatever reason, executive dysfunction and executive function and habits. Because executive dysfunction is your inability to make meaningful decisions. Like a decision to get out of bed, a decision to eat food. That's all minor, not big of an issue for me. My issue is if something's fallen on the floor, can I pick it up? If I need to do something, can I actually do it? And it ran into the idea of habit. They say if you can do something for 21 days, you can make it a habit. And to break a habit is the same thing. It takes 21 days to break a habit. I find that not true for me because I have forced myself to do things for months. And the very moment that I gave up and stopped forcing it, it was gone. I had no desire to ever do it again. And yet, once I ironically said poggers as a method of showing that I was happy. Said it to myself. And I had to fight for a full month after that to not keep saying poggers. Just that one time I said it and it became a habit. Whereas, again, as I've stated, I've had to fight for months, sometimes a better part of a year, and I still won't have it as a habit. So the human mind is fun. It's dark up here, I don't like it. And then I watch a channel called Belle of the Ranch, where she and her team talk about things that they have... Ooh, there was a shake in my controller when I hit the ground. They talk about stuff that happens around the world and here in the United States and all that. And they said one thing to remember, and this is going to be affecting us for a very long time here in the United States. We have those people that voted for a businessman who said that we need to run the United States as a business, run the government as a business. And things have become worse for the common person because of that. And the thing to remember is, when a lot of people hear that, they think, oh, we're the shareholders. No. The shareholders are those people that can afford to make campaign contributions. The rest of us are consumers. And the business of business is to extract as much as they possibly can from the consumer while giving back as little as possible. And that's been happening. So anytime you hear someone say, oh, we need to run government as a business, government is a service. When you hear people say, oh, the post office loses money, no, it doesn't. The post office is a service. It's not a business. So, joy. But then, other things on here. I subscribe to a channel, UK Drill Daily, I think it's called. And it doesn't send stuff through on the daily. This is so slow. Can I speed up? I have no idea how I would. Well, that zooms in. Ugh, way too far. Let's zoom back out. Can I run? I don't know. But I got a song called Legacy from an artist called adhd. And I really like the background loop of the song. Oh my gosh, it is a really, really good loop. And then I went and looked up adhd, and because somebody in the comment said nonce-avelli, which nonce in British terms is what you would call a PDF file. And yeah, he was DMing like a 14-year-old, knowing it was a 14-year-old, while he was apparently cleared of anything bad. That's not a good look. So, I like the background loop. I'm not thrilled with the actual artist himself. Joy on that. Which also brought me to the next one, which was I also subscribed to a channel called the Slam Worldwide channel. And they basically are a channel that highlights, oh, itchy nose, that highlights various types of metal bands and metal songs. And the last one was from a group called Dead/Awake. I do not know how to pronounce the name of the song. IHGGYBID. But apparently, at least the song, if not the group, is like Deathcore. And it's pretty good. I am not a huge, just mainstream hardcore metal. I'm more of a melodic death metal kind of person. But metal is good. Do I have a flashlight? Face buttons aren't doing anything. Nor is the D-pad. Oh, I can run if I hit. How far up does this go? If I hit, click down the left stick. I'm using a controller. Well, this didn't go anywhere. Okay, so apparently if I want to continue onward, probably through that lit area over there. Or maybe through the water, but the water is kind of annoying. Anyway, the Dead Awake with the whatever the heck the name of that song, however it's pronounced, is pretty good. So if you like, metal, check it out. Which leads me to the next person. I have continued my adventures in Breakcore and all that. And I came across the person, Milky Possum. Oh, how nice. Milky Possum. And Milky Possum is pretty good. There is some, doesn't really sound like breakcore type songs off of their One Releases album. I can't remember what it's called, but it's pretty good. I like that album. But yeah, so if you like breakcore, Milky Possum is also something to look into. Which, continuing to talk about music, well, now there are a couple rooms that down in the water that have lights. Continuing to talk about musical stuff, I also, in my interest with electronic music and EDM, did I come through that way? Or did I come through a different door? Well, let's go this way. What the heck? But there's Ghost Data. And I first came across their song Anhedonia, which, oh my God, really tickles my fancy, I'll say. It's more, strikes me as no, this is the way I came. Strikes me more as the type of electronic music that I used to listen to throughout my whole life. In fact, that's probably why I like the song Anhedonia so much, because it's nostalgic to the time of decades back. But good stuff. If you have any interest at all in electronic music and such like that, oh, that one up there is lit. Is there any other? I'll try that one over there. So it's good stuff, definitely. And then leading into more real life stuff that's more real life rooted. Because of Trump's illegal war with Iran, the prices of everything, of course, are continuing to skyrocket. I like Chobani yogurt, depending on the type they do. Well, there's got to be a way out of here somewhere. This is a whole chapter. It's not just a, one room here. But it's always been expensive as a more, premium brand. And so it was almost $5 for a pack of 4 yogurts. Is this the one that I keep looking through? Yeah, that's red. So I can't remember if I've been through this one over here. But because of everything going on, I can really no longer buy Chobani yogurt because it's now almost $7. And it's going to keep going up. I was watching this one channel. I can't remember what the channel was, but they had a video of people going through their local supermarket. Various people, not just one, or, focusing on one person and things. And it was like, three 12 packs of Coca-Cola. Almost $25. A packet of lunch meat. $20 and change. And this is just the beginning. Trump's illegal war with Iran has disrupted the entire world economy. And the people that are going to get hit the most, of course, are those of us on the bottom. And of course, they've already bragged when they've said, we're going to make lots of money. Ask yourself, who's us? Because us is already the people that are billionaires. Those that don't need any more money are going to make a whole lot more money. Remember, extract as much money from the people on the bottom while giving back as little as possible. So joy on that. And that's really about all I have. I've been sleeping, sort of, on and offy. I have a lot of pain that keeps waking me up, which is, always thrilling. But at least because of the stuff I am taking to sleep, it is a little better because I am able to be in a more of a daze and not just clock watch. Before I can't keep taking the stuff that I'm taking. You know, if you take anticholinergics, you know, anything with that's Benadryl, long term, these have been linked with long-term use and the risk of dementia and Alzheimer's. And dementia already terrifies me. I do not want to become demented. So, I mean, the good part about dementia is if you are demented, you don't know it. So there is that. But I am so drugged out by the stuff that I take to sleep that I don't sit and clock watch. Is this the way I came? I wouldn't be surprised. I'm going to keep going up. At least I'm not clock watching. Thank goodness for that. No, I was up above, wasn't I? You know, yeah, because I look down at things. Okay, this is just dark and I don't like it. I can't remember which direction I came. That's the problem with, like, having a very bad case of ADHD and just talking while you're doing things. I honestly cannot remember where I came from. Anyway, though, I've talked about the things that I had written down on my list, except for I want to spend a few minutes. I have not stopped my work on my solo RPG setting of Karthkog and all that work. Karthkog, of course, is just... Boy, I love running back and forth through the same areas. Karthkog is not just the entirety of the whole thing. That's just one setting, one continent. Because the world is named, largely accepted, the name Shensha by the Dwaylen. And the Dwaylen are they're looked up to culturally by the other races on the planet. Okay, so I came from up above, so it's fair to come down this way. The Dwaylen would have been whom everybody became if it weren't for the war that had enveloped the people that used to live on the planet. Oh, goody. Same place. But because of this war that just disrupted everything and through a whole lot of tectonics and all, split up the continents, everybody went and speciated out. So you have the people on Karthkog, you have the people on Stelden, and there's the people on Lanloa. And on Lanloa, they are the Dwaylen, and they look kind of... They're taller, thinner. You could think of them as like the elves, though they're not technically, you know, elves. And the people of Karthkog, which Karthkog translates roughly to paradise, and Shensha roughly translates to world in the Dwaylen language. But the people of Stelden and all that all look up to the Dwaylen, and the people of Karthkog look up to the Dwaylen as well, culturally. But the people of Karthkog, they were stuck on a subcontinent which has since been covered in ice. They managed to have a diaspora about 2,500 years back where they were saved, because if they weren't able to leave the subcontinent, they all would have died. because the entire place was covered in ice. They were pushed to the very, very edges, and that was going to be it. But while they were trapped on the subcontinent before, things had changed enough that they were able to travel on boats over a period of several generations, and they were able to leave the subcontinent and make it to Carthcog. And again, Carthcog is kind of like a big chess place. Translates roughly to paradise. And the subcontinent that they escaped from in their tongue, I haven't come up with our sort of word what it would sound like, but it translates to either, like vile, unloved, unworthy. Because while it did mold them into the people that they are, it was a very, very harsh and unpleasant existence. And of course, the people of Carthcog are divided up into the Apani and the Habani and the Orkani. And because anybody who was born on Carthcog has an instinctive link to the land, when they were introduced... Am I able to go in there? No. When they were introduced to the people of Lanloa and Stilden, the people, the greater thinking of the Orkani, who are like the intellectual leaders of all three of the speciations, they are still even now debating whether they are Hulat, which translates to people, or if they are Ahulat, not people, roughly translating to animals. Well, if this is the only way, there has to be a way to get into there. But the younger people who have all their lives known these individuals, there is no thought in their minds. They are the Dwelani and the Goyani, and so they are just flat out thought of as people. I think I'm going... Oh, I am. Oh. Okay. But the difference there as well is if you are born on Carthcog, you have an instinctive feeling of belonging to the land of Carthcog. And anybody who is born on Carthcog, looking at another person who was born on Carthcog, knows that they were born on Carthcog and are a part of it. But when they see immigrants who were not born on Carthcog, they can tell. In fact, they are missing that link, and that's why the Orkani, the higher minds of the Orkani, are still unsure, even though, again, if you are one of the Goya, or if you are a Dwelan, and you are born on Carthcog, whoa, okay, huh. You have that instinctive connection, and there is no question. Okay, we're jumping in. And of course, if you could like, comment, share, and subscribe, that would be very cool, greatly appreciated, and definitely a thumbs up. And I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. You are all of you beautiful and awesome people. Thumbs up and thank you. Now, I also have links to my Patreon in the video description below the video, and I have it hopefully at the bottom of the screen here. And looking over at my text file, I wrote so much that the entirety of the people that did some stuff that I wanted to thank, the list doesn't fully fit on... I don't want to go in there. Doesn't fit, and so when I get to that part of it, I'm not going to be able to thank everybody, and hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to do that. But thank you each and every person who is a Patreon patron. You are, again, beautiful and awesome people. And everybody that leaves me a comment, thumbs up, and thank you. I read every comment that is shown to me. I thumbs up every comment that I can, and if I cannot, then I give it a heart. Yay! So thumbs up and thank you. And for everybody, well, no. The next part I'd say is I hope it is, I forget all the time, habit versus not habit. I also play a quote-unquote internet game where I call out a secret word or phrase and ask that it be written into the comment section for blatant engagement farming. And this is where I have to say part of my list is not on the screen, so I'll have to thank those people that weren't there tomorrow. But the last people who played this game were Hen, thumbs up and thank you. And Toilet Decimator, greatly appreciated, thumbs up and thank you. Then we have Biggs 301, thumbs up and thank you. There is Grape Soda Enjoyer, which, you know, one of the better flavors. I will agree with you on that. And there is President Camacho 4959, thumbs up and thank you. And then Jesse Koskinen, greatly appreciated as always. And again, there's more people, but to scroll up the screen, I'd have to tab out of what I have here. And I don't know that that would be, that would work out well. So tomorrow I will thank those people that I wasn't able to thank today. And if you have watched this far, if you could type Playground Liminal is weird, that would be very cool, greatly appreciated, and definitely a thumbs up. Now, is it a requirement? No, of course not. But if you could do so, that would be very cool. And again, greatly, greatly appreciated. Definitely what I would say is a thumbs up. Well, hokey smokes. I have talked about just about everything I can think of, or at least that I have written down. So, thumbs up for that. I am going to, of course, play lots of video games today. Hopefully more Welcome to Paradise. I do enjoy that game quite a bit. I want to move Star Rupture off my external drive and onto my C drive, but that's 35 gigabytes that I have to free up, so we shall see how well that works. Hopefully you can get done the things that you would like to get done today, because that would be cool. Definitely a thumbs up. But if not, please do not beat yourself up, because you know what? You deserve better. Okay, well, let's take a look at this far wall. Well, am I going to continue playing this for at least, a balloon. How nice. Thank you, strange disembodied hand with your terrifying weather balloon-sized balloon. I appreciate the gesture. I may play this for a little while longer. I'm not sure. If I am, I'm going to yap about it. But I'm 29 minutes and change by my little program over there that I use to record me. So the odds aren't great that I'm going to be playing for any much longer. I don't know that that was near proper English, but hopefully so. But until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very, very good thing. I know that there is an exit and that I should be going for it. I usually beeline for the exit as fast as I can in these liminal type games when I know the actual point is not just to beeline for the exit. The point is to explore, to take in the general ambiance of what you see, and to just enjoy. If enjoy is the operative word. But still, oh, my fingers are stuck. Ah, crickety crackety. You take care, and I will see you on the flip side.